study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
This is big. And there's moments up there where you think this is big. When Michael Buffer over to Dev Sahni, when I could see Usyk in front posing to the crowd, he's coming to sit here. Mad stuff like that.
Was that hard to navigate, the AJ thing?
Yeah. John Fury here, who is shouting and pointing past me. I look up, he's just going like that. And he's pointing at Mike Tyson down the other end of the table, offering to fight him. Mike Tyson's getting up, sort of shouting back. Francis Ngannou.
What's going on, people? Welcome to a different type of show on the YouTube channel. This one I've really wanted to do because I like speaking to fellow presenters. Obviously, I'm a presenter myself. I know the ups and downs, the struggles, the good times, the bad times. And you guys know about my journey into boxing presenting and football presenting. So I think it's a good time that we speak to presenters that I respect in the field, presenters I've worked with, presenters I admire. And my first guest, you guys know him from doing, I think, an incredible job for Queensberry Promotions, for Ring Magazine, for Riyadh Season. I am talking about the great Dev Sahni. Hello,
mate.
sir.
That was really nice. I think that little collection of words that you use there, respect, admire, it's probably one of the nicest things anyone's ever said. So thanks, Ade, and thanks for having me.
It's true, though, because obviously, look, I've watched you from afar for, 4 years. But now we've worked with each other for like 8 months. And I think I'm probably only a handful of people that can appreciate what you do and how hard it is. Whereas I think people at home will watch and maybe don't understand how difficult that is. And I've always said to you, every time you do, especially the press conferences, and we'll get to the other roles, every time you nail that down the barrel, I'm like, that ain't easy. And I've always got a point of telling people around me, like, I'm telling you now, that's difficult to do. So I think that's why I've always wanted to speak to you. Obviously, we did my live.
Yeah, that's great fun.
That was great fun, wasn't it? That was really fun.
Did those people pay to be there?
They paid to be there,
That's
dude.
so good, mate.
It's incredible, isn't it?
So good. I wasn't sure. I thought, is this just all his friends and family? No, people paid to come and see Ade Oladipo.
I think there's probably about 4 people I gave tickets to.
Yeah.
One of them being my girlfriend.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, you should really pay, babies. But okay, if you want to come. That's it. Everyone else were like, yeah, we're paying to come. And since then, obviously you got a lot of love from it, as you saw. But since then, everyone's like, okay, I want to come to the next one. So we're probably going to go bigger. There was a room next to it, which I think that one held about 300 and something. There's a room next to it that does 6.
Yeah, it's the level up. It's coming.
It's a bit risky though, isn't it?
Yeah, but no risk, no reward, mate. As you well know, this is our life, right? You got to back yourself. So you back yourself. But thanks for saying all that about the stuff that I do at the top of the press. I do often, especially now that we're working together. So you will do the kind of the live stream and then throw to me at the presser. And sometimes when I'm up there cooking, I do see you at the corner of my eye, just sort of go.
Yeah. And,
So,
and you're cooking. when you do
I'm
that as
trying,
well.
but the thing is, like I write out my lines, what I'm going to say in that opening segment, because I've only just started doing that the last 18 months or so. I didn't used to, but now I do that because I've realised people use it in promos and stuff like that, and it does help set the scene a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be up there reading out, this is going to be a brilliant fight. You should all be tuning in. Nah, let's do it. Let's just tell them
That's
what it is.
interesting as well. I respect because you are going down and you're looking like the way we're looking at each other. You're not doing that. Because I do feel like you lose the audience.
You lose it. You need to feel the passion. If I'm trying to tell people up there that they should all be really interested in this fight, I need to be telling it from here. I can't be like trying to read it and trying to like memorise my words and all that. It can't be wooden. It's got to be, well, it's rehearsed essentially. I write it out from the heart. I rehearse it. I try and remember it. I go through it all with Mrs. Sahni, my long-suffering wife. She helps me remember little bits here and there, and then we just, when we deliver, it's
what is it? A minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah, it can be that. It varies depending on the level of event. I've probably gone on too long sometimes. But I remember the one for Usyk Dubois Undisputed. I was like, I've got to say this. Oh, about Wembley Stadium, I've got to say this.
Yeah.
That probably went on a little bit too much, but I cooked.
Yeah, you did 100%. You've got a YouTube now.
Yeah.
Let me tell everyone, guys, subscribe to his YouTube channel. The link is in the description. What made you start that? What's the reason, apart from me, obviously?
Mate, low key, you are an inspiration in terms of everything you're doing. I want to be doing some of that stuff, and I look at some of the like Ariel Helwani as well.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to talk to audiences across different platforms, 100%. And I've set that up. Like the long form videos, they're going to do what they're going to do, but the shorter ones, the 90-second reels that I can clip from it and put on Instagram, put on TikTok, that's good for me. That's good for Queensberry, because ultimately I'm going to push their fighters. So we had, obviously, Anthony Odd, there's a fly in here, Anthony Odd boxing Benavidez, and I made a video, like a long video on YouTube, but I clipped up my kind of thoughts on Anthony Odd fighting monsters. He fought Kovalev, Beterbiev, and now he's fighting Benavidez. So I turned that into a little video, put some pictures of Chelyabinsk, Russia in there, and all these monsters, all of that. Put it on TikTok, and it got like 200,000 views.
Whoa!
And I was like, there's something in this here. I can clearly tell a story in terms of these fighters. And some of these fighters, I've known them for a long, long time. Some of the ones main eventing now on DAZN, I'd have known them for 5-6 years because I've just been around them more. So I've got a kind of like I just thought this YouTube channel, I can use that as an additional touch point with the audience. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. But YouTube's another area I've just felt I needed to be. So,
have you become obsessed with the numbers yet? Has it got you?
I tried to initially, because I kept my expectations very, very low. Yeah. I wanted to just do it for me. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. I just wanted to, especially those first couple, just wanted to get it done. If it gets 2 views, 3 views, who cares? I've done it. And I know I can clip stuff up as well, and it will do more on Instagram. But there was one video that I did which got like, 200 views, and I was like, that's a bit of shit, isn't it? And it's like, ooh. And then I've gone like 2 weeks without doing one, and I shouldn't do that. I should carry on, be consistent. But it's hard to not get a bit disheartened.
100%. Like even me at this stage, I've probably not got as concerned about the numbers as I used to, but I would put a video out and I'm like, it's only got 3,000. Like, when another video, which was full of nonsense, got 20,000. Yeah. Like, I've put real good stock into that video. I've researched the figures, everything about it. How has it only got 3? Now, like you, I just put the videos out. I put the content out. And for me as well, it helps just having that time on camera. So when I go down the barrel with my camera at home, I almost compare it to when I'm going live. I know it's a bigger camera and there's an audience, but I'm thinking, Ade, this is just a camera. So it almost gives me time on camera, yeah. It's
reps, isn't it? It's practice, it's reps. That's kind of the reason another way to do it, especially in this period where Queensberry haven't got a show until like a UK show till the end of January. So obviously they're keeping me busy. I'm going out to the gyms, I'm seeing fighters and whatnot. But I also need that time on camera. I need to keep the reps up, and this was a good way to do that. Keep my voice active in the marketplace, so to speak, and also I quite enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I love it.
You just love talking about boxing.
I love it, and we're in a sport now where, I mean, you go back 10 years. Yeah, there were fights every month or so, but now I feel like there's a fight card every week. So there's always a story to talk about. This week it's Crawford and the WBC. There's always something that kind of just pops its head up when you think there's nothing to talk about. There's always something.
Got to be careful though, right? Or are you careful, or are you not? Were you careful?
I think I'm careful, but I'm constantly told, Ade, you're not being careful enough.
Right.
And it is a bit of a tricky dilemma because ultimately I want to be as open and honest to fight fans. But I also know that I now not just work for Matchroom and DAZN, I work for Queensberry, I work for TalkSport. So there's a few big boxing heads that I work for, and you do end up tripping over someone. But I'm certainly not as radical as I used to be before I started working. I mean, I used to say anything. I've had to delete some videos.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to really just...
I remember asking you actually, have you had to delete anything yet?
No, I've had to like, okay, maybe I should delete that one because I've gone in too much. And now though, I will say this. Now that I work in the sport, I'm so much more respectful to those in it because I understand the fighters and their plight. I understand Frank a bit more now that I've gone for dinner with him. I understand Eddie now that we've been on a plane. So I understand them a bit more, whereas before they were just like, those guys over there.
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, no, I kind of get where they're coming from. And I try to bring that side to my videos as well. Look, enough of that. Anyway, I want to start with you from the beginning. When did you ever have this idea of, I want to be in front of the camera? When did that come?
I mean, I remember in like we went on holiday, like a family holiday, like when I must have been about 9 or 10 years old, and there was a talent show just for the kids. I wish I could tell you I got up there and I sung them all a song and it was beautiful, but I didn't. I just hosted it.
Yeah. Oh, wow, okay.
They didn't have a role for me because they didn't think I could sing. I could sing. Sing's my middle name. So, but they didn't think I could sing or dance or anything like that. So they had my sister singing like Titanic or something. I just hosted it, said introducing this one. The voice hasn't changed too much, as you can tell, but I was just introducing the kids on and sort of talking to the people there. And I thought this was quite cool. But then didn't think too much of it. Then... in sixth form, so I must be 16, 17 years old. Again, hadn't really thought about being on camera or anything like that. But we had a school play, sixth form play, Aladdin, right?
What did you do, media at sixth form? Did you do anything like that?
Yeah, bit of media studies, but nothing about broadcast journalism. It was always just like try and be studious, media, English, all of that kind of thing. That's what my parents were pushing on me. But my mate went to audition to be in Aladdin and I went with him, and then I auditioned to be in Aladdin, and I happened to be like one of 3 brown kids in the year, and I got the role of Aladdin. So I was like, okay, I'm in the school panto as Aladdin, did all of that, felt comfortable on stage, felt at home on stage. That was singing and dancing. There was a bit of everything in there. But again, didn't think much of it. Then later on in life, I've got a job in online marketing, but I just felt that there was more. There was more.
Yeah.
Managed to get a job at Box Nation. And when did I
How old were you then?
I was 26.
Okay.
I think 26 when I started at Box Nation. So yes, it's been a while now. But I remember going to Steve Bunce's studio where he did Bunce's Boxing Hour, and I had a photo sat down next to the screen, and I like showed my family and that, and they was like, "Sort of suits you." I was like, "It sort of does, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
It sort of does, and I've just made it kind of happen.
Yeah, and I'm happy you said that, made it happen, because there is a feeling sometimes that people think the red carpet's rolled out for presenters and it's just there, rather than you have to literally kick down walls and take any opportunity you can, even at the hardest one or the smallest one, and just go for it. Like, I almost feel like that there were times for me early where I've just got to take the opportunity. Even if it's something I'm not that comfortable with, even if it's something that pays no money, I've just got to do it because I've got to do it if this is what I want to do. When was your first big opportunity, if you like, that one where you were like, okay, this could be something then? 'Cause I guess that we all have that role where you think, oh my God, this is actually happening. Yeah,
there's been various ones at different points. I remember hosting my first digital press conference. Yeah. So this was during lockdown, where Queensberry, just obviously I'm Queensberry staff, they were just finding me stuff to do, and I suggested, I can interview the fighters. That's how I actually started really interviewing.
So you put yourself out there. You said, okay.
And like from that, I managed to get an interview with Tyson Fury on Zoom. Queensberry loved it. It made like newspaper headlines here and there. He gave me some good stuff. So I was like, okay, Dev can do this. This is cool. And I did put myself forward to host a presser. I said, I could do that. Like, I just think that I can. They let me do a digital one between Brad Foster and James Beach Jr. I got them to face off digitally, which was very, very weird. So I had Brad Foster sort of going like this, James Beach going like this. I'll tell you what, Brad Foster was going in though. He's proper like staring at him as well. I was like, hold on, fellas, don't have to get secure, don't want to get cut, do we? But I did that, and then went into the lockdown shows and managed to host a presser in the bubble because it was convenient to not bring in a presenter. Dev's there anyway. Let's let him have a go. And it was like Liam Williams against someone. There's a few other fellas on there. Nathan Gorman was on the show, but
that's when you kind of felt like this is a career.
I thought this is cool. I can do this. It's good for Queensberry because they're not having to pay to bring in another presenter. I enjoy doing it, so let's see where we can go with it. And
no fear in doing those press conferences. I think I can't remember what my first one was. I remember thinking, I think I remember just being petrified of doing it. Like, I was thinking, this isn't me. Like, I'm more like energy. This isn't really me. And especially when I can't remember which one it was, but
the American one?
The Crawford, Madrimov, maybe. So I remember thinking, Crawford doesn't talk. Madrimov doesn't talk. This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So it might have been Crawford, Madrimov actually. It may. And so I'm thinking for a first one, like this was, Max Keller. I remember just seeing Max Kellerman over there. Like Turkey was in and around. And I was thinking, Max is watching this, who for me is the GOAT. Like, Max, whatever he does, I think he's the best at what he does. So I remember thinking, you guys have really thrown me in the deep end there.
That was deep water.
Because I wasn't there for that. And they just said, we're going to do a presser. Ade, you're in New York, can you do it? And I'm like, when? Tomorrow? I was like, what? I need a week. Like, I need to write it down. Like, kind of what you do. I need to prep everything. I didn't really know too much about Madrimov. Obviously, I knew Crawford's record from top to bottom, but Madrimov was very new to me. And then I watched a few interviews and I was like, he's doing a translator. This is going to be difficult. Hard. So I remember thinking, I don't like doing this. But they kept asking me to do them. And I was like, don't really want to do these. But I remember Andy Lee, funnily enough, heard me say that. And he was like, you need to stop saying that. Like you should always want to do them. Because they're a big thing. They're, you're center stage. Everything's on you. And I still was like, nah, I don't want to do them.
Well, look, it might not like suit your personality. You are the energetic kind of presenter guy. You can do all of that. I try to be that as well, but I feel like the press conferences is a way in for me to get to that kind of thing, just to show that I can deliver this in a very formal kind of
with jokes as well.
Here. Yeah,
I think you do it with jokes as well. I love the little digs at fighters. I love it. Some of them fighters that goes over their head. But I'm like, did you hear that? So for me, I hear all of it, and I think you do it with personality, obviously professionalism, but also you kind of get the fighters involved. You know what you started doing, which I really like, and I don't know if you've always done it, so apologies if you have. You ask the fighters a question first, and then go to the promoters, and then come back to the fighters. Have you always done that?
No, that was a learning, a very specific learning from one of the Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk press conferences where everyone was up there. So I worked the table. I come to the fighters at the end, and they gave me like one thing each, pretty much. I was like, presser's done. We've already heard from Frank. We've already heard from, where do I go from here? They don't want to talk anymore. So it was a learning for me because that presser essentially got cut short because the fighters didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was go to them first, warm them up. Not that Tyson Fury needs warming up. He was just clearly not in the mood to talk. But get that initial word, and then you can always come back to them and get them to react to something else. But yeah, that's been a bit of a learning.
That's a huge one to do.
Yeah.
Like when you just said it like that, like Fury, that was Fury Usyk 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first undisputed fight.
That's a real high moment in the career. I like you ask about fear. Maybe it's not quite fear though. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to shit myself. It's just like, this is big. And there's moments up there where you think this is big. When Michael Buffer over to Dev Sahni, when I could see Usyk in front posing to the crowd, he's coming to sit here. Mad stuff like that. Yeah,
because I like the way, because obviously we walk into the middle, don't we? And Michael Buffer introduces us, and it's like, Michael Buffer we've grown up watching is introducing, and Michael will always say you don't just say the name, he always says something about you. So he gives you a little line and you're like, here we go. And you're right, maybe fear is the wrong word. Maybe it's just a case of no mistakes here. I think it's that. There's like, I'm not going to make a mistake. I can't make a mistake. Especially when I made a mistake and I said, I think I called Ronnie Davis, Ronnie Shields. And it's tiny, but you can't make those mistakes.
And Eubank jumped on you.
Eubank jumped on me where anyone else, it would have just, and it goes and you forget about it. When Eubank jumped on me, I was like, Jesus, can't make those mistakes.
I think the most nerve-wracking one for me was probably Fury and Garnu, which I wasn't meant to be doing. So that initially, at the beginning of the week, there was no indication that I'd be hosting the press conference. There were plans for other people. I'm not going to say who, but there were plans for someone else to host the press.
An American.
Well,
maybe. Maybe.
But ultimately, it landed with Queensberry pushed for me to do it. And everyone was happy for me to do it. I'd had a good week. I was hosting the live streams, and then I got to do it, and it was amazing. And I was thinking, oh my God, look who's up here on this table. I'm looking over here. John Fury's over here, right? He wasn't even meant to be up there. He just
Is that when Mike Tyson was there?
Yes. So I've got John Fury here, who is shouting and pointing past me. I look up, he's just going like that, and he's pointing at Mike Tyson down the other end of the table, offering to fight him. Mike Tyson's getting up, sort of shouting back. Francis Ngannou's there, Tyson Fury, Frank Warren, Bob Arum. Like, it was just that. I will never sit at in my view, like a more valuable kind of table than that. Because that's Mike Tyson. He's one of the most famous men on the planet.
That was one of the best press conferences because that was obviously the first Riyadh event. We didn't know what we were flying over there for. We didn't really understand what was going on. And they had a thing of no expense spared. Like everyone wanted to be there. And obviously the other Riyadh season events have been incredible. And they still are, I think. I know some people like to say, it's dropped off a little bit. Not for me. When you go there, you realise. But because it started with Ngannou Fury, it almost feels like everything has teetered off a little bit because Ronaldo's ringside and bloody, I think I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Like, there's random people
they
there.
had the gala dinner, right?
So, see? Yeah.
Like you at the gala. So for that gala dinner, it was me and Andy Clark hosting the live stream, which went on everywhere. And they're in my ear. Dev, we've got Ronaldo. So it's not Cristiano, the original R9. Yeah. Okay, all right. Do you like boxing? And it's like Ronaldo's coming. Dev, we've got Manny Pacquiao coming over. Okay, here's Manny. We've got Oscar De La Hoya. Mike Tyson's back. He's coming in as well. All these like superstars that I've watched growing up were just coming into this live stream. Yeah. Like the room was such an expensive room.
Yeah, that's the best word to describe it. It was an expensive room. And then look, I want us to touch on more Riyadh season stuff in a bit. So you've done a few different roles, right? I mean, I think I almost feel like people assume like your number one role now was the press conference person, but you've done in-ring interviews. You've hosted boxing shows as well. You do all the interviews,
ring announcing as well.
Ring announcing. Is there one role in particular that you like the most or one that you want to do more of?
I like where I feel the most comfortable and at ease and where I can be myself and offer the most value, I think is to be the presenter. I can bounce off what's just happened in the ring. I know the stories of all the fighters because I've lived through it, especially just the Queensberry ones in particular. Yeah. That's where it's like, okay, well, I know that 5 years ago this guy was upset because his nan's dog died or something like that.
And I can see that, by the way, especially in the sit-down interviews. I can see how you get way more out of them because you have been interviewing them for 5 years.
It's like
a bit like Jamie Ward with Matchroom. I've noticed how he does it as well, and it's just almost two friends talking. Whereas when I sort of just skip, over there, sit down. When it's the big guys, yes, they open up to me. Yeah. The smaller guys on the card, it's almost like there's still a bit of a trepidation to be fully themselves because it's the first time I've interviewed them. It's the first time I've ever seen them. Whereas you have known them for 5 years. You've gone to gyms with them as well.
It's a head start, isn't it? It's a head start. If they know me, like an example of that. So this is the kind of reporter role in ring interviews or backstage interviews was the Zach Parker Joshua Buatsi fight recently, and I don't think they were playing. You interviewed Buatsi in the ring, didn't you?
Yes.
Zach Parker went backstage, and I said to them on the mic, "Do you want me to try and get Zach Parker and they said, I don't know if he's going to want to talk. I was like, I reckon he'll talk to me. And he did talk to me. And it was a good.
And we used
good
it on the
interview.
broadcast, and it was really
used
good.
it on there. It was good. So that's where I get a bit of a shortcut into these guys because they know me. But yeah, the presenting stuff I find the most fun. The reporting, interviews, that's cool as well. The press conferences is cool. It's the ring announcing I don't.
Yeah, there's probably a certain voice. I mean, everyone uses an American. Everyone's obsessed with the Americans, aren't they? Like the idea of an English voice now doing ring announcing seems to be so dated. I don't know why that is, by the way, but everyone has to have an American voice.
Yeah, I mean, I did it because it would get my face out there, and essentially Queensberry just gave me the opportunity, and I ended up doing like quite a few shows on TNT Sports, like the smaller ones, just ring announcing. It was good for my profile and to build, and I use it as past tense. I don't know if they'll ever ask me to do it again. I don't really want to. I was competent, and that's fine. And what I wouldn't. I knew how to read out the scores. I wouldn't mess that up because I've been annoyed watching other people mess it up. So I was just a competent MC, but I don't want to be that. If you know what I mean. If I'm going to do something, I want to be really good at it and be proud of myself when I watch it. And I'll be like,
yeah, I sometimes feel like that as well. Sometimes in my head, I feel like a jack of all trades, and I hate the thought of the phrase that comes after that, a master of none, because I just want to do the presenting. I don't even necessarily like the in-ring interviews. I get it, but I've always, and this is probably a private conversation, but I've always said Dev should be doing them. Like, why do I have to go up and do the main event ones? Like, Dev's right there, be doing them, because I just want to present. I don't mind the face-offs. I almost feel like they overboard with the face. You don't need to do a face-off for everyone.
I do like them though. I've done a few of them, like Chisora ones.
Oh, yeah, see, yeah. Which one did you do for Chisora?
I've done a couple of Chisora. I've done Chisora Joyce, which was strange.
That's hard work.
And I thought it'd be hard work. Largely, it turned into Derek Chisora interviewing Joe Joyce, asking why he hasn't had children yet, and all, just weird things like this. Really, really going. It was strange. And I did Chisora Wallin, which was also very, very. It's just all Chisora led. Really,
I've done some good ones. Eubank Ben, first one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you do ones like that. Even to an extent, ones that don't turn into fights, like Benavidez Yard, where it's just a good conversation between two guys that respect each other. I think I've done a Bivol Beterbiev. I'm pretty sure I've done one of them.
Yeah, I did some as well.
You did
the Eubank down there.
Yes, that's the one with Eubank. And honestly, thank God Eubank was there, because Bivol Beterbiev, you know they're going to deliver on fight night anyway, but you also know they're not going to say anything. And that's when I pray to God Eddie's around. Yeah. Because I think Eddie, my thing is, if they're not going to, default's Eddie. Yeah. And Eddie's always there, so that's always been a good, but I always find them two I did a face-off for those two, and they were literally looking away. They angled their chairs away from each other. And I was like, okay, this is
it's
weird.
better. It's Beterbiev because he just says we'll see. So that's where you need Eddie. So I had a Beterbiev Bivol one where Beterbiev was giving it all the we'll see sort of thing. And then I put to Eddie the comments that he said about how Beterbiev's arse has gone or something like that, and how he's rattled and all of that. I said, Eddie, do you still feel that Artur Beterbiev here is rattled by this fight week? And then they ended up having a little weird back and forth, which was really entertaining.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't expect to really get anything from a Bivol Beterbiev presser, but the presence of Eddie and the chat that they had, you've got to find angles to make it work, haven't you?
You've now, I guess, kind of been working with Eddie.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Queensberry DAZN, but, you know, those Riyadh season shows, Eddie's there, right? Is he different from what you have seen from afar, being up close with him, or is it just still the same Eddie?
I think
because it was very much early. It felt like them against us with Queensberry and Matchroom. It felt like real beef.
It had been real beef, Queensberry versus Matchroom. That was genuine. And by the time it got to the 5 versus 5, the beef had simmered down a fair bit. The fact that they're working together to make a 5 versus 5. In the days of the actual beef, there would be no 5 versus 5. There would just be no fights.
I missed the old beef. There's a part of me, I don't know what it is. Like, I think we've all grown up watching IFL TV interviews, and there was a part of me that used to love watching those interviews where, I forgot his name now. Have I forgot his name? IFL TV.
Coogan.
No, the other one that does Box Nation now.
Umar
used to always interview Frank and say, Eddie said this, and Frank, you could see the steam. And now it's all friendly. I'm like, no. Now it's all been like Frank's turned into Ben Shalom. It says Eddie versus Ben Shalom, and it's not the same.
It's a weird one, because I hear what you're saying. You're missing the animosity between promoters.
Yes.
But if that was still there now, would we have got those 5 versus 5 fights? So it's like, then what do you want? Do you want the fights, or do you want the beef between the promoters?
The fights, don't you?
You should want the fights, right?
Yeah, you want the fights because secretly there's still an underlying competition between them.
Yeah,
I both want to be the number one promoter over here. This is where your bread's buttered.
Now
Yeah,
they're
number
both
one
on DAZN. They're both, speaking to the same people in their weekly meetings. They're both going to see their numbers, and they're both going to compare, and they both want to be the very, very best. So I think the competition's there, and I can see them. Maybe they'll start being rivals again.
Maybe.
But
I think they're rivals. I think their rivalry will hit. I think its peak if AJ fights Fury. Because that's their two guys and has been for whatever they've done. And Frank's had some incredible fighters, and so has Matchroom and Barry before Eddie. These are their two biggest fighters ever.
They are the kings on the chessboard.
Yes,
it is my king versus your king.
Yes,
let's see who's still here at the end.
And that's what will, I think, bring back a bit of that rivalry.
It would have to.
It has to. Yeah.
It would have to. They're both so passionate about their guys as well. But Joshua's got to get through Jake Paul.
Yeah, and then this question mark in February. This Jake Paul thing's, I don't know what to make of it. I've said, and I'm always going to keep saying it, that AJ has to get rid of him, should get rid of him in the first minute. Like everyone's like, Ade, no, 2 rounds. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I know what you
AJ
mean.
should walk over there and bang, bang, it's over.
It feels like there's so many scenarios here where he loses face if it goes past 90 seconds or you say a minute.
What do you think? So what do you think from okay, that's what I say. What do you think in terms of he loses face and respect if it goes past 3 rounds? Like what is the round here?
Like, when did he do Ngannou? That's 2 rounds, wasn't it? He done Ngannou 2 rounds, knocked him out clean, knocked him out cold. Ngannou, big, strong guy, much bigger than Jake Paul, much stronger, thicker neck, fighter, can take a better shot. But the difference is, he wasn't a boxer so much, right? He wasn't a boxer. Jake Paul, I know, when people are talking about this Jake Paul, they're saying, how can you have a unified champion against someone who used to be on the Disney Channel? Okay, well, our world heavyweight champion from the UK right now was a recruitment consultant 10 years ago. So we can't just keep framing Jake Paul as this former Disney star.
What would Jake Paul be if he was over here, though? Would he be an area challenger?
Truth is, I don't know. Yeah. But what he's got access to is the best possible preparation. I saw he put up this video today. Crazy. He's got all these chambers, he's doing his ice baths, everything that he could do as an elite fighter, he's doing. He's brought in the best sparring in the world. I asked Coley about that,
he didn't get back to me. I was like, dude, are you really sparring him or is that just a photo and you're just having body spars? Like if he's really sparring, like AJ couldn't get better sparring than that. Like Frank Sanchez, Jared Anderson and a Coley.
Yeah.
To fight, that's the perfect preparation.
So he's preparing perfectly for this fight to give himself the best chance, and he's got boxing experience.
Yeah, he's got 5 years of it now.
He's a boxer.
A full-time boxer.
He's a boxer who used to be on Disney Channel.
So what are you saying, Dev?
I don't know what I'm saying. Obviously, AJ should just knock him out, but I just keep going around in my head. I looked at the odds earlier. The odds of AJ knocking out Jake Paul is 1 to 4.
That is so low.
I'm saying if you put on £10, you win.
It should be like 1 to 100.
You win £2.50. Yeah, it should be, right? So I just don't know. I'm fascinated. I'm going to watch it. I don't think Jake Paul is getting his credit for being a boxer now.
But AJ knocks him out.
AJ should absolutely knock him out.
See, this is the thing that scares me. So this is everyone that I've spoken to says what you just said. Should. I feel like I'm the only one that's saying he will. A lot of people are still
making it so. Like,
a lot of people are still. They're not sure. A lot of people are like, if Jake Paul lands one, and I'm like, you wouldn't say this about any other top 10 heavyweight.
I can't
like
get
any
my
other.
head around it.
If it was Bacoli versus Jake Paul, you're like, Bacoli's going to take his head off. Like Dubois.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
Dubois,
right.
Wardley, Italma. Like anyone else. For some reason, AJ is a bit like, I don't know. And I'm like, wow. It's one thing that I will say, and this is difficult for me because I'm like literally the president of the AJ fan club, is that mentality-wise, Jake Paul might be stronger. Jake Paul seems to have this crazy belief that he'll beat anyone. It's deluded belief.
He's so deluded, but you've got to be deluded. You know, people say you've just got to be deluded.
You've got to be
beyond
deluded
belief.
to box, innit? To be
You
honest.
can't take in all this stuff. He would have had, throughout his life, people telling him, you can't do this, you won't do this. Of course you won't be at the forefront of bringing this resurgent to women's boxing. Why would you be doing that, Jake Paul? He is doing it. Of course you're not going to be a boxer. Of course you're not going to have 12 fights. He's doing it. Of course you're not going to knock out these guys clean with a worldwide audience. He's doing it. Of course you're not going to fight Mike Tyson. What do you mean? He's doing it. He just does things.
He's the face. Is he the face of boxing? The reason I say this is because, let's be honest, every man and his dog, apart from Terence Crawford, seems to be putting a hand up to fight him.
Is he the face
was
of
going to
boxing?
fight Canelo. That was going to happen. He was going to fight Gervonta Davis. He just fought Mike Tyson. He's now fighting AJ.
I can't call him the face of boxing, but what I can call him is the most famous person who boxes.
Wow.
I think that's
Yeah,
where
more
he
famous
is.
than Tyson Fury.
He is more famous than Tyson
Yeah, probably,
Fury.
isn't it? I was thinking that, like, you know, the random games that they show a photo in like the outback of Australia. Who's that? They probably know Jake Paul more than anyone else.
Even if they don't know his name, they'd have seen his face.
I know that face somewhere.
I know the face.
Because he comes from the boxing world now, and obviously he's got this YouTube fan base as well. So he's almost got two different assets, doesn't he, as opposed to just boxers.
Yeah, I'm very curious about how he gets on with Anthony Joshua. He can't just be walking himself into hospitalisation. Why would you do that? Are you mad? He must think that he's going to win.
My fear for AJ with this is obviously, look, there's this February thing. Turkey's talking about Fury as though he can make it in September. In order for that September thing to happen, AJ can't go 7 rounds with Jake Paul. AJ can't have his legs wobbled by Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's
the wobbling of the legs is what's scaring me.
Legs are shaky, Adam. What if the leg goes? You know, it's unfathomable, and well, I guess AJ's training super hard for it. That's what I keep hearing Eddie say. Even the presser, AJ seemed locked in. He's taking him very seriously.
He's now with this Igor U6 camp.
I don't think that's specifically for the Jake Paul fight, isn't it? I don't think he's looked at Jake Paul and gone, I've got to get with the Usyk team to sort this guy out. But he's definitely taking it seriously, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he certainly is. On the AJ thing, how difficult was that for you to navigate? Because that's been one of your... Everything's been plain sailing. And I'm not trying to say that sort of put a bit of tide in the water, but I remember when AJ didn't want to answer your questions at the presser. I think I might have been even roped in to do the Dubois AJ presser, which really should have been you, but I think I was asked to do it. And I wonder if it was because of AJ and Matchroom and Eddie. Was that hard to navigate, the AJ thing?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I mean,
let's be honest.
It was a strange moment, and the roots of it are the whole Queensberry Matchroom thing. So I'm a Queensberry guy, and I would always be batting for Tyson Fury, batting for our guys. So, of course, Tyson Fury would beat Anthony Joshua, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, all of it. I probably said David Adelaide. I probably said all of these guys.
Yeah.
Nick Ball would beat AJ. But I would always back our fighters and say that they would beat Anthony Joshua. That's just been it because he's over on that side. Never thought that over on that side would be sat here next to me, sort of side eyeing me while I'm trying to give this opening speech. But that's what it is, and clearly, I didn't think that he would know who I am, B, care that I would have an opinion that fighter A would beat fighter B. But it was a learning for me that fighters do care.
Yeah.
And fighters do watch, do listen, even if they're not themselves watching it, they'll get it shown to them. Oh, look
100%.
Look what he said here. Look what he said here. He said that, Tyson Fury would have chin you in a round. Like, can you believe that? So I understand, and it's helped me develop somewhat. That was difficult. That was difficult. The actual launch press conference itself was strange. He sat next to me. I'm quite like, oh, this is cool. AJ's here. In my head, I've forgotten all like the stuff that I said. I was just like, oh, this is cool. This is AJ. But he didn't give me any sort of positive energy.
Yeah.
And then he sort of side-eyed me a couple of times.
It's quite scary.
He's
quite
a
scary.
big, scary dude.
When he does that kind of scary, angry look, because most times you see him, he's smiling, he's happy. So when he does do that look, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? And then I asked him questions, and I like delivered it well. I was sort of sucking up to him, former unified champion, AJ, you're used to the big stage. I'm sure you're ready for a stage like this. And he's like, why are you asking me the questions? Wow. I was, don't know. And then he goes, why isn't Eddie asking me the questions? So
That's
then,
it. That
was it. So then I was like, Eddie, would you like to ask AJ some questions? And then he asked, and then they did their bit. But I thought I half recovered it at the end by saying, thanks, Eddie, thanks, AJ. I think I had all these questions here written down anyway, so thanks, guys. And then moved it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough in terms of certainly into fight week in Riyadh, where I was getting so much hate, so much negativity. I was essentially the guy going against AJ, and he's the guy that AJ hates, and I was getting so much shit. I had to like move Twitter on my front page of my phone to like the second page so I didn't get notifications and stuff. And do you know who actually came up to me and like gave me a bit of a boost randomly? Derek Chisora. Just like, I think it maybe sensed that I was a bit down, sensed my energy.
He's amazing.
I know.
People don't really understand Chisora. I think I've had so many private conversations with Chisora. I think Chisora is incredible.
He's incredible. I wasn't expecting that. He's not one. He's one that sometimes you think, does he remember who I am? Does he know who I am? But he come up to me, he's like, you're doing an amazing job. Just keep at it. Just keep going, bro. You're doing so well. Don't listen to all of this. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, no,
from
Chisora. I had, it's funny because I had my moment with Fury.
Okay.
I remember in the lead up to Fury Usyk 2. And again, this is maybe the problem of having a YouTube channel, being on TalkSport, being alongside Simon Jordan, who clearly has an issue with Fury. And I think they kept asking me my thoughts and who's going to win. And I was like, oh, Usyk. I think Usyk's going to win. Like, Usyk's incredible, and Fury did well the first time round. But basically, I just literally said Usyk every single interview. I've interviewed Tyson Fury, and it's been amazing before. Mel from Top Ranks always brought him into me, and it's, oh, Ade. He walked in, and you can just sense there's an issue. He walked in, he's walking in with Shane, all of his entourage, who are clearly all like 6'4" and fucking enormous.
Yeah.
And Fury walks in and he sits down at no eye contact, and I'm like, oh, we have a problem. First question, one word answer. I was like, oh, second question, literally. And I could see the DAZN people behind, because again, most times the interviews are amazing. The DAZN people behind Fury, and they're like, what's going on? And I'm just having to, and that's where it's good that I have, and it's not just a reporter that doesn't know boxing. The fact that I knew boxing, I had like 100 questions lined up.
Yeah.
If you can, I've got more for you. And in the end, he kind of just shut me down and went down the barrel and said, Usyk, I'm going to fuck. But that was hard. And that kind of taught me as well, like, you just got to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, in fight week, you can't be giving predictions. You almost can't favor any fighter, regardless if there's history or not. You've just got to like, you've got to understand there's Ade the YouTuber, and you're going to have this as Dev, the YouTuber, Ade the YouTuber and Ade the broadcaster, who's supposed to be impartial and on the fence. And that taught me a big lesson, because Fury was furious. Pardon the pun, he was furious.
It's what you got to do now, isn't it? I mean, it's certainly a learning for me. Would I be saying this guy's going to chin Anthony Joshua? This guy, hence I've held back on my Jake Paul prediction. But like, you can't say it so much. What I'm doing now, more and more, is kind of building the case for both sides. Well, I could see a route to a victory for this guy if he does this, if he does this. That way, hopefully, no one gets too upset. It's a bit annoying. You feel like you're sort of not being true to yourself
100%.
there. But in the space that we're in, what's more important, trying to like be true to yourself and get your prediction out there, or sustain your relationships with all the guys that you're going to be needing to succeed in your role?
100%. And I think the latter, basically. You can appease a couple of fans, like, he's keeping it real, or you can be jobless.
Exactly. There's 10 hardcore fans, in their mother's basements, in their pajamas, etc., going, oh, well done.
Go on, Ade.
You really stuck it to him, didn't you? But then, like, the DAZN guys are going, don't go on, Ade. Why have you said that? Why have you given me a shit interview with this guy now because you told him this?
This is it. This is it. As we wrap, and this has been fascinating, I could go on and on and on and on with you. What's the dream in the next 12 months? Again, you've ticked all the boxes, right? You've done every role. You've hosted the biggest press conferences. You've hosted shows. You did one recently in Glasgow.
Thanks for messing up your flight, by the way. That was excellent for me. The storm helped. So.
Yeah, feel free to send me part of the fee that you received. You've done all the roles, though. Like, what's the dream in the next 12, 18 months?
I think right now...
Is it to nick my job, I'm guessing, if you want to be a presenter for Queensberry?
That's a horrible way to put it.
I would like us to work together. That would be my dream, actually. Like what I do with Kate Abdo for the big shows, where Kate's in the studio, upstairs, I'm almost in the studio on the runway area type thing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think that works
I
perfect.
think that could be a
Should
thing.
should we agree on that? I'm happy to agree on that.
But I think so. I just want to establish myself more as part of this DAZN Queensberry lineup. I feel like I've got my foot in the door. This is inevitably, it's always going to happen, but I'm not, I haven't come as DAZN talent. I've come over from the other side, and it's like they're trying to figure out where to put me, where can they use me. I just want to build that trust more and more so that DAZN can see they trust me and just do more and more stuff. Like, for example, that was great that they trusted me when you couldn't make it to Scotland. Let's let Dev do it. He's done all of Fight Week. He can do the fight night. 100%. I played it very safe that night. I just did a standard good job, I think, and just want to do more of that, really.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, because I think you're fantastic. Again, I think for someone to do all the roles that you do, but particularly to smash it on what I think is the hardest role, and I keep saying this, that press conference fucking thing, I think to do that and the interviews with the fighters, I think you're building a collective which one day will lead to, I think, being the top dog. Because there's
where's
not
my
long,
green chair?
There's not long left in the old dog Ade. So
this is a passing of the torch interview, isn't it? Where's my green chair? Come on.
No, but honestly, Dad, thanks for coming. First guest on this new show, Presenters. Appreciate it, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much, mate.
Top man. Cheers. Thank you.
Spring is the season everyone refreshes everything except their blinds. People put it off because they think it's complicated. But at Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years proving it's not. Right now, you can save big during the Spring Cyber Monday sale. Whether you want to DIY it or have a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we've got you. Free samples, real design experts, and zero pressure. Just help when you need it. Shop up to 50% off site-wide. Huge savings on special buys, plus a free professional measure now during the Spring Cyber Monday sale. Rules and restrictions apply.